I am about to do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? As we gather today, the words of Isaiah are more than a rhetorical question. Something is happening here, now, in Cottonwood, Idaho, of all places. In the midst of a narrative of the decline of Benedictine monasteries, at a time when we talk constantly about diminishment, closure, legacy, something radically new is being born. Do you not perceive it? The gift of a prophet like Isaiah is to see something that other people don't see. The prophetic task is to change the narrative. The prophet speaks out of a powerful, overwhelming, and personal sense of God's call at a particular moment in time. Prophets speak the truth to perceived power. They challenge our perceived reality. They say, your reality is too small. God is doing something new. Do you not perceive it? This symposium is a prophetic body. We are standing up and saying, look, Benedictine life is alive, well, thriving, exciting, growing, reaching out to give meaning to a world that is so hungry for the presence of God that most people no longer have the language to name the hunger. We are here to say that we are on the cutting edge of a whole new era in Benedictine life. As Benedictines, we have been setting out on this way with the gospel for our guide for over 1,500 years, and we are now doing it in a new way. We are experiencing a renaissance in Benedictine life in North America right now. I am about to do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? The vision is simple. It isn't even new. You already know it. You're living it. In the future, in the present, most Benedictines will make oblation, not profession. There will always be those of us who are called to make profession in the traditional way, to make a lifetime commitment in a monastic community. Professed monastics aren't going anywhere. Perhaps for those of us who are professed monastics, we can hear the words of the prophet Zechariah. In those days, 10 foreigners will come to one Jew and say, we want to share in your destiny because we have heard that God is with you. Can those of us who are professed monastics be excited and shout for joy that all these people are coming to us and taking hold of our garments and saying, we have heard that God is with you, rather than lamenting our diminishment and decreased numbers and lack of traditional vocations? There are plenty of Benedictine vocations. They just happen to be oblates. There is a lot of new life. I am about to do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? God is moving powerfully in our lives, in our monasteries, in the Benedictine world. If we are open, if we perceive it, what will this vision look like in our lives? Perhaps for those of us who are professed monastics, it will look like new people living, working, praying, sharing with us. Perhaps some of those people who will be living in our empty bedrooms, filling up our empty formation classes, sitting in our empty choir stalls will be oblates. Perhaps not all people living at or being formed in our monasteries will make profession. Perhaps they will make or renew their oblation. As we look for people to staff our ministries, to help maintain our monasteries, perhaps these people will be oblates. Now and into the future, increasingly the people who will be the public face and witness of our monasteries will be oblates. And this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Can we who are professed monastics be open to this new thing? Can we fully welcome Benedictines who have made a different kind of commitment? We keep waiting for people who look like us. We keep looking for people who want to make the same kind of commitment that we did. And let's be clear, the traditional vocations are coming, they will come. But can we also see that the oblate commitment is also a vocation? Can we see that oblates are simply a different kind of Benedictine, perhaps a new kind of Benedictine for a new era? When our foremothers and forefathers came to this country from Switzerland and Germany, their founding communities were often scandalized because the monasteries in this country weren't praying the full divine office like they did in Europe. Of course they weren't. They were out staffing schools and parishes and doing active ministry. But they, and we, were still Benedictine. Most oblates today aren't living at the monastery and aren't praying the office in community. They don't look like us. Does that mean that they aren't Benedictine in a new way, just as our foremothers and fathers were Benedictine also in a new way? Can we who are professed monastics let go of our yearning for things to be like they were when we entered? It will never be 1960 again, with full novitiates full of young people. But our communities are already full of new life. We have lots of new people committing to live the Benedictine way of life. I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? Oblates, perhaps another prophet is speaking to you today. Jesus asked about John the Baptist. What then did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, "See, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, who will prepare your way before you." What did you come to your monastery to see? More than a prophet, more than people you admire, more than wisdom figures who hold the key to a deeper spiritual life. You have seen messengers who are preparing your way. Those of us who are professed monastics are simply pointing the way to the Benedictine way of life for people of all commitments, for different kinds of vocations. We who are professed are simply pointing the way of what you are longing for. What you have come out to see is not in a particular place. It is not in a special group of people. If we who are professed monastics are showing you anything, it is that the rule is about a way of life that has been and will continue to be adapted to all kinds of people, in all kinds of places, in all kinds of ways, as it has been for over 1,500 years. John the Baptist was the forerunner. He was not the one to come. Perhaps when you oblates come to your monasteries, you are not seeing the one who is to come. Maybe our monasteries, the Cenobitic communities, are simply pointing the way to something new that you, as oblates, will create. Perhaps we who are Cenobitic Benedictines will be like John the Baptist. He must increase, but I must decrease. The central image of transformation in the rule is that of humility. Can we who are professed Benedictines humbly embrace the great new wave of vocations that are coming in the form of Benedictine oblates? I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? A phrase that echoes throughout the prophets is, "and on that day." The prophetic vision is couched in terms of the coming day when everything will change. Listen to this verse from Isaiah and see if you hear the vision for Oblates in North America. 7 women shall take hold of one man on that day, saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own clothes. Just let us be called by your name. Take away our disgrace." And on that day, 7 Oblates will take hold of one professed monastic, saying, "We will live by the Rule of Benedict and be responsible for our own formation. Just let us be called true Benedictines and take away our second-class status." And on that day, Oblates will see that they are not the reflected light of the sun of Cenobitic monastics. On that day, Oblates will see that they too are called to full conversatio, fidelity to the monastic way of life, to stability and obedience. They will see that they are called to have their oblation be a central commitment in their lives that shapes every aspect of their lives. The coming of this new day is an invitation to all of us. The author of the book of Revelation says to the church at Ephesus, "I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first." Perhaps this call to a new era of Oblates and professed monastics together is a call for all of us to return to the love we had at first. Have we lost the love for the Rule and Benedictine life that we had at first? Do all of us together burn with good zeal to live the transformative Benedictine way? It is a difficult time in our Cenobitic communities. There are fewer members. Our average age keeps creeping up. We are saddled with underutilized buildings. Some of us have made the courageous decision that our communities are coming to completion. Some of us continue to hope that things will change. In the midst of the struggle, have we forgotten our first love, like the church at Ephesus? If we were to enter our communities today, would we even meet Benedict's prerequisites of being eager for the divine office, obedience, and trials? To use another image from Revelation, it is easy to fall into being lukewarm. It is hard to have the passion for transformation through the Benedictine way that we once had when we were facing such challenges. But, once again, are we failing to see the new life, the energy, the longing for monastic life that is right in our midst? Our Oblates are not simply another program to staff. They are not another obligation that we don't have energy for. The Oblates in our midst simply need to be empowered to live their Benedictine calling. Can we let these Benedictines be a source of energy and hope for us? Can the Oblates of our communities bring us back to our first love? For all of us, the Rule of Benedict is a little rule for beginners. We're all beginners because we need specific, concrete guidelines for how to live a life focused on God, and that's what Benedict gives us. For all of us, Oblates, professed, the rule instructs us how to pray, how to live with one another, how to serve, how to be transformed. For all of us, the rule is a way of life that if we live it with intention and diligence, will bring us all together to everlasting life. And on that day, the day of the Lord that is coming soon, all of us, oblate and professed, the diligent and the lax, the nice ones and the difficult ones. All of us Benedictines will walk together, hand in hand, to everlasting life.